Story actually. Let's move this down a little bit. I'm gonna end the stream with a story that happened to me and my local friend Arden Smasher and Mistake. So this has happened when I lived in Huntsville too. So it's kind of a little, not really that important, but a little bit. So there was a tournament in Georgia. There was a tournament in Georgia, and Mistake was going to drive through Huntsville to get to Georgia. So he agreed to pick me up on the way, and so he picks me up, and he gets there at like 2 in the morning, and the tournament's at like 11 in the morning. So we don't get to bed till like probably 3:30 a.m. We got to wake up at like 7, or we woke up at like 7, I think. Yeah, we woke up at 7 because the hour shifts around when you go to Georgia. So we had to wake up at 7 a.m. to get to the tournament on time. So we wake up super early. We're like super exhausted. We only got like 4 hours of sleep or less. We get to the tournament. It starts like 2 hours late. So we're like, great. Glad we showed up, on time for everything. And then the tournament happens. It was pretty fun. And I think I won that one. I'm not sure. Not important to the story. The best part's coming. I'm just kind of setting it up. So we're gonna leave the tournament the same night too. So it got finished at like 10 p.m. So we have to drive back on like no hours of sleep. We just got through exhausting ourselves in the Melee tournament, and we have to drive back home. And it's like super late and it's dark. We don't really actually know our way home that well. So we're driving home, and we're going over this like overpass, and it has the exits to go off to the highway and everything. So and we're trying to like quickly figure out like, is that the right exit? Is that where we need to go? And then like we're super groggy and tired. And then so like I'm like, no, that's the one. And then like he like Mistake hears me and like immediately reacts and like swerves over into the turning lane and cuts this car off, and like we just like zoom on a little bit, and we're about to turn on the ramp to go down and get on the interstate. We realized the person that we cut off was a cop. So the cop was obviously pissed off and turned on his lights and is chasing us down. So we, pull over, and we're dealing with this cop now. The cop I don't know what the cop thought. It was like so he pulls us over, and he gets out of his car and walks up, and he tells us to roll down the window, give us our identifications and stuff. And so like we're both like super tired, like our eyes are red. So he probably thought we were on something. Which I don't smoke or drink or anything. Mistake smokes, but he did not smoke while we were there. So he hadn't done anything. But the cop is like, give us your identification and everything. He's like, are you guys on something? Like, what's going on? Like, you guys have we have a TV in the back, too, with, like 2 fucking GameCubes, and like, they're in just shopping bags. They look so conspicuous. And we're just like, And we give him our identifications. And Mistake's is from Memphis, and mine is from Huntsville, and his tags are Mississippi. And so, like, he's like, what's going on? And he's like, where do you guys live? Like, what is going on with you guys? And, like, I'm so tired, I don't even realize the question he's asking me, and I'm just like, he's like, where is Huntsville? And I'm like, just kind of like, it just didn't come to me quickly, and I was like, I'm not sure. And like immediately my brain's like finally figuring it out. He's like, north, it's in North Huntsville. And he's like, it's in North Huntsville, don't you know that? You like are in North Alabama, don't you know that? You live there. I'm like, I do, I'm just really tired. And so he thinks something's wrong. Like, he thinks something is up. Like he thinks we're on something. He doesn't know what's going on with us. And by this time another cop has actually pulled up behind him to give him backup, I guess. And so he tells Mistake to get out of the car and come around to the back of the car with him. And then the other cop comes up and tells me to get out of the car. And he's talking to Mistake for a while, and I can't really hear what's going on. But it sounds like he's kind of too tired to really make good conversation, and like it just sounds like he's fucking it up for us. And about halfway through that, the other cop comes around. He's like, tell me to come to the front so I can talk to him. I guess they're trying to cross-reference us, make sure our stories match up. And I'm like talking to the guy. He's like, so what are you guys doing in Georgia with Mississippi tags? And you have Oh, I know. Actually, I don't. I did not have a Huntsville license. I had a Memphis license. I had a Mississippi license. Mistech had a Memphis license, and I had and I told him I lived in Huntsville. So he was like, "What the hell is wrong with your story? Something's wrong here." He's like, "What are you doing living in Alabama with the Mississippi license?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just never got changed over." He's like, "You know, you can get arrested for that, right?" And he just kind of stares at me. I'm just like. I really didn't know that, actually. He's like, well, you really need to get this changed. Like, we could take you in right now if we wanted to. And I'm like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. And he's like, what are you doing in Georgia? And I'm like, you may find this hard to believe, but we came here for a video game tournament. And he's like he's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, you guys drove all the way to Georgia just to play video games? And like, yeah, like it's... I actually tried to explain it to him. I was like, it's a big part of my life, and I've enjoy it a lot. And he was like, so was there a prize to winning? He's like, I'm like, yeah, you win money. And he's like, what's with the TVs in the back? And I'm like, we have to bring TVs to help set up the tournament and stuff. And he's like, just asking back and forth. He's like, where does Mistech work? Like, where do you work? Where does he live? Like, he's trying to get all this information out of us, basically. And I'm just being truthful as I can without making myself look too conspicuous, as I am already like super tired. Like, I had the bags and the red eyes and all kinds of shit. So he's just like, I don't know if he's buying it or not. Eventually he's like, all right, go around to your friend, and they're both quizzing us more, and we're just trying to talk about we're just gamers, dude. We play video games, we travel around all the time. And this is not unnatural for us to do. And they're just kind of eventually they kind of, I guess they're starting to lighten up a little bit. So they're kind of they're laughing a little bit about it, and they're talking to each other, and yeah, I think we just caught a couple of nerds, really. And I'm just kind of yeah, we'll go with that. Mistech's wearing his he had a hoodie that was the mushrooms, the different mushrooms from Mario. I was like, look at his hoodie, we're just nerds, dude. Let us go. Eventually they are like, yeah, we're just trying to explain we didn't know where we were, and we didn't mean, we were just in our haste, we didn't mean to cut you off, but we did, and we're sorry. And so eventually they're like, all right, yeah, we're gonna run your identification, and then if nothing bad comes back, we'll let you guys go. And they give us back our identification at that point. We get back in the car, and me and Mistech were like, holy shit, I seriously thought we were gonna get fucking arrested or something. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I thought it was game over, man. And I was like, I don't know what we would have done. Oh shit, sorry about that. I was like, I don't know what we would have done had you gotten arrested or something, or if either of us gotten arrested. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. We were just freaking out. We're freaking out over the possibility that we would have gotten arrested. We're just like, holy shit. And we're super nervous at this point. We're kind of nervous, but we're kind of relieved because we got back in the car, which seems like a pretty good sign that we're not gonna get in trouble. And so we have actually, no, he still has our identification. So he's coming back to give us back our identifications at the very end. And so we have the window rolled down. He comes up, and he's like, which one of you is DeShazo? And that's Mistech. So his last name is DeShazo. He's like, that's me. He's like, yeah, you have a warrant for your arrest? And I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you have a warrant? In my head, I'm like, what the fuck? No, you have a warrant? What the fuck? I'm like, holy shit, dude, are you serious? You cannot be kidding me right now. That, why is this happening? And Mistech is kind of in this disbelief. He's just kind of what? He's trying to figure out what the hell did I do? He looks up at me, he's like, for what? And he's like, nah, I'm just fucking with you. Y'all are free to go. And he gives us back our license, and we just take off. And they just swerve off in front of us and keep going. We're just like, what? So I was like, don't fucking do that, dude. I thought we were fucking gonna go to jail or something, and this whole trip was gonna be ruined. I'd have to come back and pick up Austin. I was making all these fake plans in my head to come rescue him from jail and all sorts of shit. I was like, what? I can't believe that cop just completely fucked with us. It was ridiculous, dude. I've never been like so scared and like so relieved at the exact same time. It was pretty crazy because like at the time we kind of needed that because we woke us the fuck up because we were like super tired, and after that we were like on edge. Like it was absolutely insane. I couldn't believe that the cop trolled us that hard after like he was so stone faced and serious like the entire time. Like their whole interrogation session was like ridiculously serious. Like, oh man, I couldn't believe it, dude. I absolutely was just shocked that that even happened.